Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Felix Graphics again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from any angle you are staying and listening from. So today's tutorial we are going to be learning how to use grid lines on how to use grid lines in Pixellab application. How to use grid lines in Pixellab. So grid lines, some of you might not know the meaning of grid lines. Grid lines is used to align every element you used in your design space. Every element in your design space, in your canvas, every element on the canvas, you use grid line to align it. So today we are going to be learning on how to use grid line in Pixellab. So without any further ado, let's dive in. So this is my Pixellab application. So grid lines in Pixellab have ways they actually work. Grid lines in Pixellab have the way they actually work. So for you to use grid lines in Pixellab, you have to use these two here. This is the grid lines. If you want to access grid line in Pixellab, this is the tool you use to access grid line. So these grid lines, in my own way, I have the way I normally use this grid line. Let me say I want to design a thumbnail for my YouTube video, and I always make use of this grid line in all my designs. So what I have to do is that I go to the grid line. I tap the grid line icon I just pointed now. I tap it. It will bring down this. It will bring up this option here. So I will explain this. I'll explain this one later. I'll explain it later, because every tool in this Pixellab how the way they works, and if you don't actually know the way they works, you might not use it well. So without wasting much of our time, what you have to do is that we tap this one, the one on the right side. This one, we tap it. The one you tap it, you notice that there is 3 grid lines. This one, when you tap on it, it will turn to yellow. You can move it. You can move that one you just tapped. This one, you can move it. Same thing happens to this one. Same thing happens to this middle one. The same thing happens to this one on the right side. So these three grid lines are aligned in 3 by 3. What I mean by 3 by 3 is that in each side, horizontal 3, vertical 3, horizontal 3, vertical 3. So, but if you want to use it in your designs, what you have to do is that make sure that when you move up the grid line, move it up to a certain point that you will design, but your design will not exceed that grid line. Because the reason also why you must use these grid lines in your design Even those people that design with CorelDRAW, Photoshop, they also make use of these grid lines for printing designs. The design that will be printed, they use this grid line to make sure that everything stays aligned. And when the printer prints the design, what they design will not be cut out by the printer. So that is it. So you can make your own. Okay, let me say this one that I moved up now. I'm touching and shifting it like this now. Or let me say I want to move it up to a certain point. I'll just click here. Click here. Click this one here. This particular one. Click it. Click it. It will bring out a number. As you can see, my position is 5%. Position. The place I positioned it is 5%. So the same thing. So any design, anything that I'm doing will not exceed this grid line here. The same thing applies to this one. I'll move it to 95 to be equal with the one on top. So 95 and 5%. 95. Nothing will exceed this grid line here. None of my design elements will exceed this grid line here. Same thing applies to the vertical ones. I'll move it here. Let's shade here. It is 6. Let's push it to 5. See it here. 5%. And same thing applies to this one. Once you touch it, it turns yellow. Then that one that turns yellow, you can move it or make adjustments to it. So if you want to delete any one too, if you want to delete any grid lines, you may feel like you don't want to use it, or you don't need it, or it is blocking anything, you just tap this. Just make sure, like, feel free to explore this grid line stuff. Feel free to explore it more. For you to cancel any grid line you don't need, just tap this button here. See this one now, I'm moving it. If I don't want it here now, I'll just tap this one. It has disappeared. So this one now here, I'll move it to 95 also. I shift it to 90, 95, 95, yes. This one is 95. So anything that I'm designing, none of my elements will exceed this limit. None of them will exceed this limit. To make sure that all my elements are in one center, and when it is printed, none of them will be cut out. So that is it. And if you want to, okay, let me say that you want this for these three texts here. These three texts here, these three texts here now, you want to use grid lines. You can use grid lines and make sure three of them are well aligned by doing this. When you click this one, then you add this one. Now you don't have to move it, or if you want to, you can still move it. You still move it. If you want to delete it, you delete it and tap this one and add it from here. Add this one. For you to add the vertical ones, you press this one. For horizontal ones, then you press this one. So that is it. So I want to add that vertical one that I deleted. So once you click this one, you click the one, because when they're adding that vertical one, they'll add it to the front, not to the back. So you click the one. If they add it, they'll add it to the middle. Because if I click this one here now, this one that is yellow, this one that's on yellow line, if I click this one now and say let me add another grid line to it, it will not come to the middle. It will not come to the middle. Rather, it will go at the front. So for you to bring another grid line to the middle, you tap this one at the right and click this. to add vertical. So that is it. Then when you have clicked it, it have added another vertical one, and you can add another one. You see it? It is adding another one to the front, not to the back. So for you to add to the back, you have to. It will be adding to the front, not to the back. Yeah, it will be adding to the front, not to the back. So that is it. So for you to add another, you can click here and add another one in between these two, this one and this one, another one between this one and this one. You can say add another one in between this one and this one by clicking this one at the back and add it at the middle. So that is it. So for me to align this, how to grid line Pixellab, for me to align these three texts, I'll just move this one. Make sure use your zoom tool in Pixellab. Make sure move it to the edge of the text, and move this one to the edge of the text, and then add another one inside. Another one inside the two. You add another one inside the two. So that here now is when this particular button works, like when it comes to work its own job in this grid line. This is where it works well. So for you to align it well, you click this thing like magnetor tool. Let me just call it magnetor tool. You click it, and any text you move, okay, let me show you something. You see it once. Okay, let me move it around. You see it once it touches any line, it blinks red something, showing that it is aligned to that vertical side. The same thing happens to the horizontal. Same thing happens to the horizontal. You see it when it joins to the middle of vertical and horizontal, it aligns. So for me to align it well with this three text, I'll just move it here, move it, and it joins. Same. Make sure same thing with this one, and same thing with this one. All of them are aligned vertically well. They are aligned well vertically. Or let me say they are aligned vertically well. I don't know how to put it, but you understand it. They are aligned. So the same thing happens to horizontal when you want to align text horizontal, because normal Pixellab 2 don't. They only align middle and vertical. So when you want to align horizontal stuff, or like horizontal elements, you want to align them horizontal, like straight horizontal. Yes, horizontal. What you have to do is that you bring down this horizontal grid line. You add another one to it. By adding another one, you click this one. Like to add another one, you click to add another vertical. No, to add another horizontal line, you click this one here, this one. To add another horizontal line, you click it. Then when you click it, it adds another horizontal. I see this yellow stuff here. It adds another horizontal line. So for me to, assuming I want to align this, these three texts, how to grid line and in Pixellab, I want to align three of them vertically. So I will now move this one here, move it up, and then to exit moving these lines, like to move it around, you just tap this one again to exit it. Then you can now move the text. You can now move the text alone, not the line. To move the lines, you tap this one. To move the text, you tap this one. So for the magnetor tool to work, make sure this magnetor tool is always active. It is always active. So like I said before, feel free to explore this grid line tool in Pixellab. Like feel free to explore it, so to understand it well. That is it. So we want to align horizontally. So let me lock something first. So to align this text here horizontally, I'll just move this one here. You see it have joined. Same thing with this one. Same thing with this one. And let me zoom out. Same thing with this one. It have joined. To make sure all of them are aligned horizontally, like they are aligned horizontally, they're aligned well horizontally. You make use of it. Instead, some of you are using, okay, when you want to align, you just shift it and shift it. You'll be stressing your eyes to make sure that it is aligned well. Instead of doing that, just activate your grid line to then move any first, like move the grid line to anywhere you want them to be aligned to, anywhere you want them to be aligned horizontally to. Same thing to vertical. Okay, let me say I want them to be aligned vertically here, this side. Now I'm moving this thing, and I want them to be aligned vertically. I'll move all of them there. They are now aligned vertically. You see it? Same thing happens to here, happens to here, happens to this one, happens to this one. So that is how this grid line tool works. So feel free to align, like to feel free and make sure your works on Pixellab are well aligned using this grid line tool. Like make sure your works are well aligned using this tool to avoid scattered works in your designs. So feel free to explore this tool well. Feel free to explore it well. Same thing, you cannot, not that you use it only on text. You can use it on shapes, text, imported objects, like anything at all you want to use it. And make sure that you use it to set boundaries between your canvas and your designs. Like always use it to set boundaries between your design and your canvas. Set boundaries so that when a printing design comes, and after designing, maybe maybe you are not the one that will print it. You take it to the printer, and after printing it, they'll start telling you that they don't know that this one is part of your design will cut out, and part of some of them will remain on the canvas, some will cut out. So it's better to use these grid lines and make sure that all your design do not exceed this grid line. Like make sure that they don't exceed this grid line, and also make sure that they don't meet the grid line, like they don't touch it. Like give a little distance between them and the grid line. Like this one I did here, I shifted my own so that it doesn't touch the grid line itself. Like this one here now, I shifted it so that it doesn't touch the grid line. Not that it will be printed, but for easy alignment and make your design clean. Like to make your designs clean, you can use it to make them clean, and use them to set boundaries, align objects, set boundaries, and all of that. So that is it. So feel free to like, share, and subscribe this video if it helped you, and if this video help you a lot in your design. So feel free to share the video so that other designers that don't know this grid line stuff will start using it and make progress in their designs. So thank you very much and have a nice day.